One of the biggest things that have impacted my life in the last few years is a concept called mindsets. It's a book that I discovered when I was looking at stuff to help my students. The book is called Mindset. It's by Carol Dweck, fairly well known, and this has had a huge impact on me. And so I just want to share some of the basic concept because as I continue with my journey and as I continue with the stuff to help students and other people who have similar challenges to me, it's important that we understand what it is that we're talking about and what it is that I mean when I say stuff. So let's take a look at this. The idea, the basic premise is that there are two mindsets. People have one of two mindset: a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. Very, very basically summed up in one sentence, the fixed mindset believes that intelligence is static. You either are smart or you are not smart. You were born smart or you're not born smart. The growth mindset believes that intelligence and anything else can be developed. You may not have been born that way, but you can develop that. Leads to a desire. Your fixed mindset leads to a desire to look smart and therefore a tendency to, and there's a whole bunch of stuff underneath. And your growth mindset leads to a desire to learn, and therefore there's a whole bunch of tendencies underneath. And I think it's really important just to emphasize that the fixed mindset we talk about, it's a desire to look smart versus the desire to learn. And there's some very specific things. So if I'm trying to look smart, I'm going to avoid stuff that's going to challenge my intelligence. So I'm going to avoid things that are really hard because it's a possibility that it will challenge my label. Smart is a label and I have that label and I don't want to lose the label. So I'm going to avoid challenges. Obstacles, give up easily in the face of obstacles. Smart is a label. If I feel that I am smart, I want to stay smart. And if obstacles get in my way, I'm going to give up because I don't actually want to face not being smart. Because if I don't overcome that obstacle, then clearly I'm not smart. It leads to a desire to look smart and therefore a tendency to see effort as futile. Effort is pointless. And I think in here, it's not because hard work is bad, but because if you're smart, you don't have to work at it. If you're really, really talented, you don't have to work at it. Therefore, if you do have to work at something, clearly you aren't that smart. So the idea of looking smart is a label, and I don't need to work at it. I don't need to put terribly much effort in. Otherwise, if I do need to put effort in, clearly I'm not as smart as I thought I was. Criticism, ignore useful negative feedback. Not because you think the other person is stupid, but because it challenges your label of smart, and it crashes or crunches those walls and makes you really, really nervous and puts that label, makes that label very fragile. So you ignore useful feedback. You just can't take it. It damages your entire sense of self and your entire definition. The success of others, you feel threatened by the success of others because it's a label and you want to hold on to that label. So if someone else around you is gathering better labels, you can't help but compare yourself to them, and that label always falls short. As a result, they may plateau early, achieve less than their full potential, and it confirms a deterministic view of the world, not massively important for now, versus the growth mindset. It's a desire to learn and therefore a tendency to embrace challenges because you're going to learn more if you challenge yourself, as opposed to avoiding challenges because it's going to affect how other people see me and how smart I think I am. It leads to a desire to persist in the face of setbacks because you want to achieve something more. You want to grow, you want to change, as opposed to giving up because you're worried that it's going to mean you're not smart. Effort is a path to mastery. You can't grow and develop without effort. And, talent doesn't stand alone compared to your fixed mindset where effort is an indication that you don't have talent. If you have talent, you shouldn't have to work hard. Your growth mindset sees effort as a good thing. It's a path to mastery. Learning from criticism, it's not a heavy label for you. Your smartness, your intelligence is not a heavy label for you. So therefore, if someone gives you feedback, you're open to taking it, learning from it and going, thanks, I'll take the good and the bad and the ugly, and I'll figure out how I feel about it. And you find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. And in often cases, as a result, they achieve higher levels or they reach higher levels of achievement. So for me, I am most utterly, definitely, entirely a fixed mindset. this explains and defines who I am as an accountant, and just who I have been my entire life. And going through this has just made me realize the comparison between the way that I have seen things in the past and a different approach, and the impact of those different approaches in my life, or in my decision making. You know, the stuff that this impacts is my decisions. And I think it's really important, because this is stuff that I pass on to my students and people that I talk to, because I believe that understanding our mindset and understanding these things can really help us understand our decisions, improve our decisions, and set ourselves free from thought processes that may be limiting us.